What's going on, guys? Boy Joey 672 coming out of the video right now. So, mandatory minicamp has begun today. Was very excited to see some guys on the field. Doug Pearson said it was a perfect attendance. I think the only two that didn't practice were running back Miles Sanders and wide receiver Nelson Aguilar. So let's get straight to the news. Malcolm Jenkins, the leader of the defense, was on the field today. Looked great. Glad number 27 is back on the field. So had his little press conference today. Talked about that he outplayed his contract. He thinks that he outplayed his contract, and he's back. And he has had discussions with Jeffrey Lurie and the Philadelphia Eagles about a reworked contract. Now, he doesn't want to be the highest paid safety in the league. He just wants to, kind of match the figure of how he plays and how good he is. So I don't blame him for that. He will be here for another, his contract, only 2 years left on it, this year and next year. And then after that, he's a free agent. So I think Malcolm Jenkins wants to have a contract where he's, all the guaranteed money on his deal is pretty much gone. So he wants to rework his deal and kind of get things going and, retire as a Philadelphia Eagle, which is great. And the leader of our defense, we need him on this team. We need him in the lineup, and he's the one that keeps everybody together, keeps that gel formed with this defense. So I'm very excited to see what, to see how this plays out. He'll get his contract. I'm not worried about it. So this is what Malcolm Jenkins had to say at his little press conference. So this is what he said. I feel respected, which is the biggest part. As a player, you want to make sure you feel valued and feel respected. I love being an Eagle. I love being here. I love this team. I love the locker room, and I want to be a part of it. So that's what Malcolm Jenkins said. Sure as hell wants to be here and be with this defense. This is going to be a big year for the Eagles this year. Pretty damn loaded on both sides of the ball. And Malcolm Jenkins is going to light it up this year. So very excited to see. We'll see what happens down the road. He's not worried about a contract. He just wants to be with his teammates and play his ass off. And that's really it. On a pretty good note that we kind of wanted to happen last year, the Eagles parted ways with the head team physician and internist Stephen Stake, and hired Arsh Donata as chief medical officer. Okay, so we've had guys like Jordan Matthews go to the Bills, get traded to the Bills, talk a lot of smack about the Eagles medical staff, and honestly, we complained a lot because guys were just getting injured and re-injured and hamstrings and this and that. When you have a team medical examiner, he puts out the diets, he puts out ways, sports science ways to keep your body healthy, to make sure there's no nagging injuries all year, to keep yourself hydrated, to make sure you're not getting pains. They pretty much do all that. So I think this is a big move. This is very important. I'm glad that they're actually making a move with the medical staff. It's very important going down the road. So I'm glad a move was made. I didn't expect the move to be made because I thought it would have been made last year. But hey, it was made today, this morning. So very happy to see that. So the 6th round pick, Clayton Thorson, quarterback, didn't really play too well today. Threw a pick to safety Godwin. I can't even say his last name, but he threw another pick today. Really bad offseason for Clayton Thorson. I don't know why the Eagles drafted a quarterback in the 6th round. Probably the dumbest pick that they did this year. Wasn't happy with it. Just not happy. So that was pretty much the last play. Threw a pick. He didn't have a good game. No completions. So maybe 2-yard completions. He's not really doing too much out there. His accuracy is horrible. His deep ball is horrible. I just don't know why they could have just drafted something else to another position that could compete, a cornerback. I mean, something, you never know. But that's what's going on with him, and we'll see in preseason. We'll see in these games how he's throwing the ball. So Halapoulivaati-Vaitai is with the first team today at right guard next to Lane Johnson. Now, this is good because Doug Pearson said at the beginning of OTAs that offensive lineman, we're going to cross-train. Jordan Mailata, instead of being a left tackle, they're putting him at guard. So you never really know what's going to happen. He could, play multiple, guys that play multiple positions. We have a very deep offensive line coming out when the final cuts happen at the end of training camp. We're going to see what's going on with this team. At the end of all the preseason games, we're going to see this team come together, and you have a lot of depth. Now, I'm really kind of surprised Wisniewski is not starting in that right guard spot, but they're putting Vaitai in there. Now, I don't know because Vaitai is out playing Stephen Wisniewski, but if Vaitai is the starting right guard for the season for a few games before Brandon Brooks does come back, finally, and Brandon Brooks is doing well, something to add, but I'll talk about that later. But I'm glad that there's a lot of cross training, and I'm just, if somebody goes down, you never could really give up on this offensive line, because there's always going to someone that's going to go in there and do their job and know multiple positions. So that is a big 2 thumbs up for the Philadelphia Eagles and for these fans that are watching. So the running back, Miles Sanders, we just wanted to see him practice, but unfortunately, Doug Peterson is keeping Miles Sanders out of mandatory minicamp, the whole mandatory minicamp. He will probably be back by training camp. They're being cautious, still dealing with the hamstring injury. So they will keep him out, monitor his situation, and hopefully see him. I mean, this is really important for Miles Sanders because he's missing valuable time right now. Very, very, very valuable time. I'm not worried about it too much. I know, it's not like he's the starting running back. It's not like he's the only running back. We're using one running back to be our prime running back. He is in a rotation, and that's where it's going to matter the most. So, very excited to see what Miles Sanders could do. We all know how he is with the quick jump cut ability, great vision, and kind of has that nice vertical, speed. It's a headache sometimes because you really want Miles Sanders to play. Like, this is very valuable time, but I'm not worried about it. Got other running backs out there, and he'll be fine. I just, he'll get his reps in preseason, so I'm not really worried about it too much. So the Eagles' base defense today consists of the outside corners and nickels. So Rasul Douglas and Avonte Maddox did play outside corner today, and Sidney Jones played the nickel starting. Don't know, because I think Darby is still doing his team drills. He's not really doing anything with the whole team yet. Jalen Mills still dealing with an injury right now. So you have Rasul Douglas, Avonte Maddox, and Avonte Maddox, 4th round pick out of Pitt, doing pretty damn good, thrown to the fire last year as a safety, then went to outside corner and played absolutely amazing. Rasul Douglas, a lot of heart, a lot of drive, kid wants to play. I don't blame him. Okay, first year as a Philadelphia Eagle, he led the whole country with 9 interceptions at West Virginia when we drafted him. So, guy has a very, is a ball hawk. When the ball's near him, he will get his hands on that ball and get an interception. Would have had like 5-6 interceptions, dropped about 3 of them. So very excited to see these two, and I'm very, after hearing what the cornerback coach had to say yesterday, Corey Unlin, I'm very happy to say that, Sidney Jones is healthy, 100%, full throttle, ready to go. Can't wait to see this. More competition builds up when the pads come on, so this is very exciting. Carson Wentz had a very, very, very good day. So Carson Wentz threw a deep pass to Marcus Bichelle, a deep bomb, and hit him right in the chest. Very, very good pass. I actually watched. I saw a clip of the pass today, which was crazy. And Carson Wentz, I think what he has struggled with was hitting the deep ball a lot, but we didn't really have a deep threat last year. And then before we had Torrey Smith in 2017, And we've seen Carson screw up some deep balls in the past. We've seen him miss Alshon Jeffrey by an inch. We've seen him throw a little bit further than expected. But hitting Marcus Bichelle for a long ball. And then him and J.J. Arcega-Whiteside have been like this. I mean, crazy. So Wentz did a pump fake to the left, turn right, hit J.J. Arcega-Whiteside for a touchdown. Perfect touchdown. And then the Eagles did a flea flicker with Jordan Howard pitching it to Wentz. Wentz found J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, deep pass all the way down. I think it was like a 40. I think it was, what was it, a 45? I think 48-yard pass, something like that. So I love it. And J.J. Arcega-Whiteside the chemistry between Wentz and J.J. it's very nice. And I can't wait to see J.J. Arcega-Whiteside in preseason. We all know, I mean, there's something going on with this guy, and he's catching everything coming his way. And that's a really good thing. He's getting over corners. I mean, he's beating corners that been on this team for the past couple seasons, all right, that are second string or starters, okay? He's beat Sidney Jones. He's beat Rasul Douglas. He's beaten a lot of guys. Okay, so, Carson Wentz, very, very solid day today. Was hitting his targets like it was nothing. So very happy to see that. So Andre Dillard was hanging around Jason Peters all day at practice today. Jason Peters was showing him technique. I mean, you name it, he was showing him everything. And Andre Dillard is learning from one of the best in the league, probably the best left tackle when healthy. So I'm glad that Andre Dillard has somebody in his corner that could, and Jason Peters knows that he's going to be the future left tackle after Jason Peters retires after this year. Okay, so I'm very happy to see Andre Dillard bonding with Jason Peters and kind of doing some good things. So very happy to see that. So Greg Ward Jr. took the first team reps in the slot with Nelson Aguilar not practicing today. Greg Ward coming, from being on our team, a while back, then going to the AAF, then coming back after the AAF went downhill, and then just being the slot receiver. I like Greg Ward. He's got a lot of speed. He's got a lot of speed on him. Okay, so. I'm very excited to see Greg Ward. I wanted him on this team. I made a video saying, bring Greg Ward in. He's still a free agent. And they did. So very happy to see. And I'm really banking on Greg Ward getting that roster spot because he could play inside receiver. He could play outside receiver. No, he doesn't have Deshaun Jackson's speed. But he's got pretty good hands. He's got a firm grip. And his route running is pretty good. Okay. And he's been in this system before. Okay, so a lot of upside. And him going to the AAF, he just learned more. From more coaches and then coming back. So can't wait to see Greg Ward in preseason. Matt Collins was practicing today. He was only doing positional drills today, so he was only with the wide receivers doing wide receiver drills. He wasn't with the whole team, but he was doing stuff on his own, and that's a good thing. So it's a good foot in the right direction where Matt Collins is going. Brandon Brooks was running on the field today. He was sprinting, he was running, and he looks pretty good. Brandon Brooks was interviewed later on saying he feels really good and he's ready to get back as soon as possible. So now it's hasn't got much reps because he's still rehabbing, because rehabbing cuts off your ability to practice with the team and everything else like that. So I'm glad Brandon Brooks is coming on a good foot right now, and it happened very late, in the playoffs. So like I said, could miss a few games, and Vaitai in that right guard. I'm not worried about it too much. So that's really it, guys. That is minicamp today. First day of minicamp. A lot of stuff going on. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Going to go over the next minicamp and what's going on. I'm kind of interested to see, Malcolm Jenkins, how this whole thing is going to turn out. See if who's going to be the punt returner for the Philadelphia Eagles, how Andre Dillard is actually doing, how much he is learning. I just want the preseason games to come, even though people don't like watching them, but I love watching them because you can specifically look at all these players and kind of notice a lot of good things. So you're going to see a lot of things. So that's really it, guys. So I will see you guys later. Shake Squad up. Fly will slide.